All set.
It's time for grassroots racers and fans to gather round. Welcome to the Racing Roundup Show. Thanks for joining us for our landmark 40th season. We are your destination for news and interviews within the Wisconsin racing scene, the upper Midwest, and from the world of motorsports. The Racing Roundup Show is America's longest running weekly motorsports show held in front of a live audience. You still have time to join the racing crowd for tonight's show. And now, here is the host of the Racing Roundup Show, Jim Strado.
Hey, gang, how are you? Glad to see you here on this Tuesday evening, May 7th. Can't tell you how excited we are to be here with you. There's a lot of exciting news going on, and we're going to share it with you on this program. We have the Rust-Oleum Rocket himself, TJ Zizzo here. He's going 300-plus miles per hour at his home track, Route 66 Raceway in a couple weeks. He's here hanging out with us tonight. Come on down and see TJ. He brought some really cool stuff to give away, including that little piston, little ring that probably went, he usually rates the mile an hour, 330 something on there. Holy macaroni in 1,000 feet. We're talking to TJ about exciting things that go really fast. We're also talking about Rich Bickle, who's been fast. And guess what? He brought along with him the door that he won by auction at the Dick Trickle Memorial Project fundraiser way back when. They're going to have a big party on May 19th. Rich is here to talk about Dick, this door, and a very special story you'll want to hear on this program. We also have Quinn McCabe and Mike Stroik. Mike brought his midget out here, so if you ever want to see a midget car up close, Mike's got his car here ready. They are going racing this weekend at Kankakee and at Sycamore Speedway in Illinois. We cover the upper Midwest. We cover the Badger Midgets. We love having those guys on the program as well. It's going to be a lot of fun to have them on the show. Bill Howland is here. He also was at the Joe Shear Classic this past weekend, the Midwest Truck Series, won by Jeff Holtz. And full coverage of the Joe Shear Classic 200 that paid out $18,600 to the winner, including the $3,600 bonus bounty if Ty Majeski finished on the lead lap. That's all I can tell you, because Bill's got the whole scoop in the groove. We also are very excited to have some news out of the Milwaukee Mile today. I got to take part in what was a media festival of getting the word out that Liuna has signed on as a title sponsor of the NASCAR Craftsman Truck Series playoffs race on Sunday afternoon, August 25th. So you may see that in the news. You might see that in the area. By all means, we did everything we possibly can. We want you to do everything you possibly can to support great racing like Route 66 Raceway with the Badger Midgets, with the NASCAR race across the street here from Polly's Pub and Eatery. So we're looking forward to seeing you join us on the program. We have great giveaways after the show as well. And I'm telling you, this looks pretty cool. We got some cool shirts, retro shirts, new shirts, and a lot of fun and prizes to give away after the show. So what you need to do is get on down to Polly's Pub and Eatery, 81st and Greenfield in West Dallas right now, because we're coming right back with more on the Racing Roundup Show.
Thanks for tuning in to the Racing Roundup Show. Check out our website, racingroundupshow.com, and like our show on Facebook. Join us on Twitter and Instagram at Racing Roundup. We're coming right back after these messages from our awesome show sponsors.
Add value and beauty to your home or commercial property with professional landscaping from Central Services Company, Incorporated. The team at Central Services is their personal choice of over 45 years of satisfied customers in Southeast Wisconsin for landscape design, construction, and grounds maintenance. Call Central Services at 262-548-0005 for all your landscaping and lawn care needs. No job is too large or too small. From lawn fertilization and weed control to award-winning landscape construction and building your backyard patio oasis, Central Services is your full-service landscape company. Call the experts at Central Services at 262-548-0005 for a free, no-obligation consultation at your home or business. Find out why Central Services can provide you with the visual difference in the art of landscaping and lawn care. Call 262-548-0005. Central Services, the visual difference in landscaping.
For your next purge or project, go with the pros. Source Services. Champion driver and Wisconsin Short Track Hall of Famer Dan Source founded Source Services in 1988 with one truck, one employee, and a tireless work ethic. Through the dedicated work of Dan and his employees, Source Services LLC is Southeastern Wisconsin's leading waste container rental company. Dropped and picked up by professionals, you can rent a dumpster for up to 60 days. Source Services sorts and recycles to reduce the amount of waste going into landfills. Go with the pros at sourceservices.com.
Get ready to accelerate your productivity with the Midwest's largest forklift distributor. Walter Inc. offers top-tier brands including Lindy, Doosan, and Bobcat forklifts. With 17 locations across the Midwest, Walter is the go-to source for high-performance forklifts and material handling solutions, and is fueled by a passion for short-track racing. Count on Walter's 60-plus years of experience to increase your productivity. Walter is hiring too. Explore their unbeatable lineup of forklift solutions and more at walterinc.com.
Scott with Making Memories Travel next September. Enjoy an unforgettable 7-day Alaskan cruise from Vancouver on the Norwegian Jade. Juneau and Hubbard Glacier are just two of the cities that await you. Hike up snow-capped mountains and witness majestic whales splash in the Pacific. Then come back on board to catch an amazing show, followed by a starlit stroll on the top deck. Breathtaking views, all the amenities, all the memories. Cruise Alaska. Contact Mark at Making Memories Travel today.
Like our show on Facebook and share our content with other race fans. We hope to see you at one of our upcoming shows too. Join racers, other race fans, and win prizes. Now let's get back to more of the Racing Roundup Show.
Good. We're really good here. We're hanging out at Polly's Party with a bunch of race fans on a beautiful night. Come on down and join the racing crowd. We're back here next Tuesday. I do want to remind you that May 21st, that's a Tuesday, we're taking our show on the road, DeAngelis Construction Road Show in a straight line. We're going to preview the entire huge weekend at Great Lakes Dragway. We're taking our show to Union Grove on Tuesday night, May 21st, talking drag racing. For the entire time we're there, we might talk about other stuff because we cover a lot of things, but we can't tell you how excited we are to preview a huge weekend. It takes me back to when Broadway Bob would show up with his fancy Zubaz, all airbrush T-shirt on from Jimmy Flintstone, and talk to us about all the great things going on Memorial Day weekend. That tradition is still there. The Hennings are still doing it, and we're going to make sure you guys know about it and join us and have some fun as we preview the big Great Lakes Dragway Memorial Day weekend. They're great supporters of our show, and they've been around a long time, but guess what? They're having fun, and they're having fun with us. We want you to have fun with us as well. So mark it down. Go on south. I think the old phrase was exit 337 off of I-94, just a burnout west of I-94. You got to be there. So we're looking forward to seeing you on May 21st for our DeAngelis Construction Roadshow at GLD. This portion of the show is brought to you by BMRE Electric Carts. They've got electric scooters now. They have Icon electric golf carts. They've got all sorts of colors and styles and accessories. You can find it online along with their e-bikes that go 25 miles per hour and 25 miles between charges at BMRE Electric Carts Company on Facebook. Thank you, Brad Miller, for your support of our program. We also want to tell you that another racer is involved with our program. It's called Victory Fuel. It really is tasty good. This is the Lucky Lemon and the Throttle Punch. Two great flavors of a drink put together and marketed by six-time Chili Bowl Midget Nationals champion driver and owner Kevin Swindell. It's not just another drink. It actually is really good for you. It's got fuel by electrolytes, charged with vitamins, naturally sweetened and kid-friendly because there's no carbonation, no caffeine. And if you want to buy it online, they'll ship it to your door or go to the Hy-Vee stores in Madison and Green Bay and get it yourself. But you can go to drinkvictory.com and use the code SHOW, S-H-O-W, at checkout, and you'll save 10% on your order. And that money will go to us, and guess what we're going to do with it? We're going to give it to some lucky racer at the end of the year. That's what we're going to do. We're going to support racing. That's your way to support our show. Go to drinkvictory.com, shop for it, find your flavor, 4-pack, 12-pack, ship it to your house, and you save 10% by using the word SHOW, S-H-O-W, the code at checkout. It's time for the Interstate Batteries of Southeast Wisconsin NASCAR report. Interstate Batteries are outrageously dependable and are the #1 replacement battery in North America. Interstate Batteries is a founding sponsor of Joe Gibbs Racing. Visit interstatebatteries.com to find a battery for every need at a dealer near you. Did you watch Sunday? Okay, did you watch the horses race on Saturday? The one flared nostril is the only difference. That was about that much between the winner of the Kentucky Derby and second place. On Sunday, Kyle Larson, on the outside of Chris Buescher, won by this much. Closest finish in NASCAR history, 0.001 seconds, 1 inch on the ruler. And it was pretty exciting, and you would figure, okay, who's involved with that? Larson. Matter of fact, I even saw something funny online. On Saturday, the winning horse of the Kentucky Derby, somebody put Larson's face superimposed over the jockey that won, saying, yeah, he won that too. I mean, he's been winning a bunch, but man, to win by that much, kind of telling. It was pretty cool, and they are pretty accurate on what he can do behind the wheel of a race car. Bush was obviously disappointed with second. Chase Elliott was a close third. Martin Truex was fourth. The NASCAR Truck Series returned to race at Kansas. It's been a couple weeks. Early left front suspension issues derailed Neenah, Wisconsin, Ty Majeski. So Ty got in his truck and started an early trek to Wisconsin, got to Newton, Iowa, slept in the truck for a couple of hours. His wife drove the rest of the way, and he made it to Madison on Sunday to race in the Joe Shear Classic. More on that with Bill Howland in the groove. But Ty's night was short-lived. Corey Himes was Heim time. He won the race. He has the point lead, and I think he's one of the favorites for sure, as he led the entire second half of the race on the truck race on Saturday night. I was there Saturday afternoon before hopping on an airplane, not driving, from Kansas to make sure I was at the Joe Shear Classic on Sunday at Madison. Zane Smith finished second. The win went to Heim, and I'm telling you, it was a decent race. It was a good race. The ARCA Menard Series race went to Connor Mosack. 10-second lead at one point for the leader of the race, Tanner Gray, in the Joe Gibbs Racing 18 in the ARCA Menard Series race at Kansas. But when it came down to a late race restart, Mosack just hung on his inside, got the lead, pulled away. Tanner Gray finishes second, still looking for his first ARCA win, and he's all 0 for 101 in the Truck Series. So this is a development thing. Tanner's in a really good ride. He drove a great race, but man, Mosack got right to him. Took his father-in-law's car to victory lane for the very first time in the ARCA Menard Series, his second win overall. Matter of fact, he won the 18 car at Kansas. Last year did Mosack. It's throwback weekend for all three NASCAR National Series at Darlington this weekend, including the return of Carson Kvapil. The kid that has now 2 top 5 finishes and 2 Xfinity Series starts. Carson Kvapil gets the nod for 6 more races, it was announced yesterday, to race for Junior Motorsports in the 88. Dale Jr. has a lot going on. He was announced today, if you didn't hear. Dale Jr. is now a commentator for Amazon Prime and for TNT. So those 10 races that are in between the Fox portion next year, I'm doing it this way. Fox starts the season, Amazon gets 5, TNT gets 5, and then you got the last 14 on NBC. Well, all season long, Amazon's going to do all the practice and qualifying shows and Cup. That's going to be on Amazon Prime only. Junior signed on for that, some social stuff, and then he's going to call the races for TNT and Amazon in the middle of the summer. So that was kind of big news because he kind of moves the needle, and he's going to have some fun with the behemoth Amazon Prime and TNT, who's going to do a bunch of creative stuff with him. So that's kind of cool. As I mentioned, the big news today, the NASCAR Craftsman Truck Series is back at the Milwaukee Mile. So I want to tell you that we're going to do this for our taping of our TV show, which will air this Saturday on CW18 in Milwaukee. I will start that right about, I got to give a pause here. It's hard for me to stop talking because I'm that excited. Here we go. Welcome back to the Racing Roundup Show. This afternoon, actually this week, we had a very special visit by NASCAR Craftsman Truck Series driver Tyler Ankrum in town to share the good news that LiUNA is going to sponsor the NASCAR Craftsman Truck Series race coming to the Milwaukee Mile on Sunday, August 25th. It's the first race of the NASCAR playoffs. Tyler was in town. The folks from LiUNA, 9,000 members strong, are represented by this sponsorship. And we also talked to a representative from LiUNA here in Wisconsin on the Racing Roundup Show. I caught up with them earlier today at the Milwaukee Mile. And they're both pretty happy to be part of this program. Going forward, a lot of folks will be wearing orange on race day. Take a look. It's a big day in Milwaukee. NASCAR is coming back August 25th, and we got 2 gentlemen directly involved with that. We have NASCAR driver Tyler Ankrum, driver the number 18 LiUNA Chevrolet for MHR, which is McAnally Hilgeman Racing. Hilgeman Racing Bill Hilgeman is a Wisconsin guy. He owns the team. We also have Steve here with the Wisconsin Laborers District Council, and I'm telling you guys, I'm excited to know it's the LiUNA 175. It's the logo you get to wear, but how important is it for you to have this fun and know that we're getting ahead of it and we're getting LiUNA more involved in racing? No,
it's huge. It's huge for the union. It's huge for not only that, but NASCAR as well. And LiUNA and I have been partnered together for the past 5 years. This will be the 5th full-time year. And so for us to grow and expand our relationship like this, it's very important to me because it's been something that we've been working very hard for the past couple of years, and see it to flourish and come to its fruition. It makes me very proud.
So Tyler gets to race this truck all over the country. He's currently 5th in the point standings, but more importantly, here in Wisconsin, Steve, there are 9,000 members that you get to be a part of, and there are a whole bunch of them are coming here on August 25th.
Yeah, that's right, Jim. We had over 600 of our members and family last year, and we're looking on having over 1,000 coming on out. We're a jobs club. We advocate for our members for better working conditions, better wages, but it's more than that. It's a brotherhood, it's a sisterhood, and just looking forward to having a great day to be out here cheering for our union brother Tyler.
So you are a member as well. So you carry that message through with other members. How much fun is that interacting with folks that are part of LiUNA or want to be part of LiUNA?
Oh, I mean, it's like joining a family. When I joined 783 out of San Bernardino, yeah, sure, I don't have a job in the union, right? But I wanted to contribute everything I can, be an ambassador for LiUNA in my organization, in my sport. The better job I can do that every single day does nothing but help but grow the union, and it gives them a platform into which to do that.
Steve, we got the Milwaukee skyline as part of this logo unveiled today here at the Milwaukee Mile. We're hanging out with a race driver. The excitement is here. The involvement is here. I'm guessing race weekend is now part of your plans. Is like, how can we make this even better, right?
Yeah, we're going all out this year. Again, looking forward. We're going to be having members from whether they're up in Eau Claire, the Fox Valley, La Crosse, looking at renting buses, just having a fun weekend here in Milwaukee, and looking forward to seeing Tyler and holding up the LiUNA 175 trophy on August 25th.
There was an RC track here inside the Milwaukee Mile, thanks to Trackside Hobbies and RC, and I'm guessing, Steve, you got some laps. Who beat who here?
Oh, I mean, he's the professional here, so.
I'd like to get a shot too, but more importantly, the big truck. This is the NASCAR playoffs, race number 1. This regular season is going to go by pretty quick, isn't it, to get here to Milwaukee to start the run for the championship?
Yeah, once we get past this 5-week stretch, the playoffs are pretty much there. You have to be ready. You have to make sure for these next 5 weeks to take care of your equipment. You make sure you stay ahead in points. It'd just be even better to go get a win this weekend at Darlington, right? But to come to Milwaukee, which is a very, very difficult racetrack, it's a race of attrition. And if you leave here and have a bad day, you're going to have a really, really difficult time making those points back up to make it through to the next round of 8. So if you have a good day at Milwaukee, which is my intentions, I told you earlier, we put the cattle guard on the front bumper. So if everyone's in my way, you just get out of it, because we're coming with a strong front bumper in order to win this race.
And you'll have power in numbers of over 1,000 members in the stands.
Yeah, they'll come fight for me. They'll come fight for me.
Tyler Ancrum's driving for McAnally Hilgeman Racing, again, co-owned by businessman Bill Hilgeman here in Wisconsin. It's cool to know this team is clicking. Your teammates are finishing top 10. You are running 5th in points now. This is a huge, great start to the season after just 8 races. Talk about that transition to this team and how you guys are clicking.
No, for sure. I mean, with my team, my crew chief, Mark Hillman, for us to start the year off with 3 top 5s and 4 top 10 finishes, I don't think anybody expected us to be this strong, especially for us to lead the points like we did. A lot of people walked up to me and how the conversations have already changed in the garage, where we're looking at one of the contenders every single week. So it makes me feel very proud of myself and also my guys. They work incredibly hard. I've never worked with a group of guys like I have now that put in the amount of hours that they do and the amount of attention to detail. So I'm very proud of everyone at MHR. Even my teammates. Christian's an amazing teammate. He's probably the greatest teammate I've ever had. So even a teammate like Zane, they're just great to have around. Their knowledge and their experience to go along with mine, does nothing but make all of us better.
Christian Eckers, Zane Smith, all came out of the ARCA Menard Series platform. You're an ARCA Menard Series East champion. How important is it to kind of take a look outside when the ARCA Menard Series Sprecher 150 is happening right before you race on Sunday, August 25th, and say, who should I be worried about in a couple of years here? That ARCA Series puts out some really good talent like you.
For a series like ARCA, for it to be around as long as it has, to create a stepping stone for us drivers to come from late models to super late models and then to ARCA, it's always going to be very dear to my heart. And when you look at it, even at the race this past weekend in Kansas, they raced before us. You can really get to watch, how long did it take from the racing line to go from the bottom to the top, back to the middle, or vice versa. You get to learn a lot of information from those guys because they're all very talented.
We saw 3-wide racing here last year. Sunday, August 25th is the date of the LiUNA 175. That's at 3 o'clock, starting at noon our time here in Wisconsin. It's going to be a noon start for the ARCA Menard Series Sprecher 150, Milwaukee company, a Wisconsin brand in Menards. And we can't thank you enough, Steve, for being LiUNA strong. And the hashtag Feel the Power. I'm going to use that a lot on the show. You guys have it going on. Thanks for spending some time with us, and it's great to see you both here celebrating the sponsorship of the LiUNA 175 NASCAR Craftsman Truck Series race coming to the mile on Sunday, August 25th. That was fun. Those guys are having a great time, and it's really neat to know how they're that fired up. And we mentioned Sprecher. This is a bottle that I grabbed from the mile today. It's got an ARCA logo on it because Sprecher of Milwaukee is the official craft soda of the ARCA Menard Series, and they announced today they're renewing again the sponsorship of the ARCA Menard Series at the Milwaukee Mile. So thanks to Sprecher for their longtime support, 3rd straight year now. joining up with some great companies and looking forward to seeing how things progress and grow. And buy Sprecher at Menards. That'll help everybody in the racing program. We're coming back with more on this edition of the Racing Roundup Show. Stay tuned.
Join the racing crowd every Tuesday night at 6 p.m. Central all season long. Share what you love about short track racing on our Facebook page and on Twitter and Instagram at Racing Roundup. We'll be right back with more of the Racing Roundup Show.
Olson's Outdoor Power Equipment is a fully equipped parts, sales, and service dealer of quality mowers, snow throws, trimmers, chainsaws, and more. Olson services what they sell, does warranty service work on big box store mowers, and their expert service technicians are ready to get your equipment running right. Put their stock parts department and friendly, knowledgeable staff to work for you. Visit the racers at Olson's Outdoor Power Equipment today at 14323 West College Avenue, just 1 mile east of Moreland Road in Muskego. Olson'sPower.com. Olson's Power Equipment.
ARR has been recycling for over 80 years and is here to help. Take them your recyclable metals and they'll pay you cash. ARR buys aluminum, brass, copper, lead, and steel. And attention contractors, ARR has a bonus program just for you that puts more cash in your pocket. And who doesn't like more cash? Find their full list of accepted materials at ARR1938.com. ARR with locations in West Allis and Waukesha. If you have questions, give them a call. 414-321-4134. ARR Recycling since 1938.
Attention race fans. When you need expert tree trimming or it's finally time for tree removal or stump grinding, there's only one name to call, Making the Cut. Fully insured arborists. Making the Cut has the knowledge and equipment to get the job done right in Milwaukee, Waukesha, and Racine counties. They specialize in removing trees from structures and offer 24/7 emergency storm service. You've probably seen the yard signs. Now it's your turn to request an estimate. Call 414-750-2525 or visit mtctree.com. Make the right call, race fans. When it's time for expert tree work in your yard, it's Making the Cut.
427-1000 American Foundation. Cracks and leaks in your basement, have no fears. We've been fixing those things for over 60 years. Trust and dedication, that's American Foundation.
Call American right now for huge savings.
427-1000 American Foundation.
When we decided to get our crack-leaky basement done, I am so glad we called American Foundation. It gave us a sense of confidence, and it gave us our basement back.
And it was the right choice.
Thank you very much.
American Foundation Specialist has been fixing basements since 1947. Satisfied customers are the future at American. Call American for huge savings at
427-1000 American Foundation.
Precise Auto and Truck Accessories is your one-stop shop when it comes to adding style and functionality to your vehicles. Owner and late model racer Mike Grunberg has 15 years of experience installing window tinting, cat skin leather, seat heaters and seat coolers. There's a million accessories available. Ladder racks, trailer hitches, detailing, remote starters, and more. Precise Auto and Truck Accessories in Wisconsin Dells is a WeatherTech Diamond dealer. Bring your vehicle to the trusted guy, Mike Grunberg at Precise Auto and Truck Accessories.
The Racing Roundup Show is dedicated to showcasing grassroots racers and national stars of our sport. If you're a fan of NASCAR, four-wheel, two-wheel, road racing, drag racing, or the short track scene, you are in the right place. Welcome back to the Racing Roundup Show.
We are back on the Racing Roundup program. We've been here for 40 years. Believe it or not, 40 years of doing the show. Looking forward to seeing you here on a Tuesday night. Check out our racing show schedule at racingroundupshow.com. If you're looking to sell or buy a home or commercial property, choose the Rapida Group, Coldwell Banker Home Sale Realty. List or buy your home, commercial property. Buy or sell with confidence. You need knowledge behind you. Knowledge is power. Hire the Rapina Group and sell or buy your next property. Visit rapinagroup.com. Choose Coldwell Banker Home Sale Realty and sell your house with the Rapina Group. We'll have prize giveaways tonight after the show, including bottles of Anderson's Pure Maple Syrup, a set of 4 race tickets to a Saturday night show at Dells Raceway Park. It's always exciting racing there. We also have car washes from Full Service Car Wash, an original third-generation locally owned family business operating in Milwaukee since 1986. Unlimited car washes start at $14.99 a month. Full Service Car Wash is the best deal for keeping your car clean. with locations in Hills Corners, Wauwatosa, Grafton, and West Bend. Chase Elliott Napa hats, thanks to our friends at Napa Car Care Centers in Milwaukee. We have racing t-shirts, die-cast, collectibles from Greenfield Gallery on Facebook, where they're always buying racing collections. We have cans of Victory Fuel as well, so if you want to try it before you buy it, we got those for you after the show. Make sure you use the code SHOW when you buy it yourself online at drinkvictory.com. This week's driver who's making the cut is a driver in the 330-plus mile-an-hour category in NHRA Top Fuel drag racing. Fiend. Loves speed. Loves talking about it. I can't wait to talk to him. He's going to energize the entire room. No pressure. But across Wisconsin, I'd like to remind you, Making the Cut Asphalt Services can do the job for you. For brand new asphalt paving, patchwork, crack filling, and seal coating, it's got to be Making the Cut Asphalt Services. Visit mtcasphalt.com right now to get started. Now, here's this week's driver who's making the cut. We're talking about within milliseconds. You know about how close those NASCAR races are? That's every night, every run for this guy. Let's welcome in the one and only Rust-Oleum rocket pilot, TJ Zizzo. TJ, thanks for coming on.
Thank you, Jim. Thank you, everyone. I do appreciate it.
It's a big week because you know what happens after this week? You're going to race it at Route 66 Raceway.
Yeah, I think if I hold my hands out, I'm shaking a little bit. The older I get, Jim, the harder this becomes, right? I mean, I'm going to be 49 years old this year. I've been doing this 33 years. And I get a little older and wiser, and I sometimes wonder, why in the world do I want to hurdle myself down the racetrack at 330 miles an hour? I mean, my beautiful daughter's in the audience here, and I look at her and I say, boy, oh boy, I must be very courageous.
Well, you also can say, because I can, and I love it. Because I can tell the passion is still there for you.
Well, there's no doubt. I mean, you know, but I will tell you, Jim, it's been 6 months since I climbed in our race car. It was a brand new race car last year. We put it together right as I was doing this show. We were putting it together to debut it at Chicago last year. And we went out there, went to the semifinals, went 330 miles an hour, ran career best numbers. All of the good stuff happened. So, yeah, it is exciting. It does give me goosebumps as I talk here, right? And it is a thrill. And it is something that I've done my whole life. I'm very passionate about. I pour everything I have into it. Our team right now is at the shop working so hard to get this done and organized. That's the one reason my dad's not here tonight. He's working on a race car as we speak.
And one thing to cheer for, I've seen some photos you've shared on social. Your race shop is the family business auto repair shop, auto body shop. I mean, you guys are busy all the time, but it seems like you carved out a little spot like a magic carpet. If you cross that line, now you're in the race shop.
I am blessed. Jim, we're blessed. I mean, I get to work with my dad every day. We have a great staff on our race team and also in our body shop. Remember, it takes 15 people to run our race car, you know, just our race car on a part-time basis. And then our body shop, it thrives. I don't really show the general public what we really work on because our customers don't want their cars to be seen. But we are very fortunate to work on some beautiful vehicles, some of the best in the world. World-class cars with customers that are really, really high-fluting people, too. So it's a blast. We have a good time with it. And once again, I am blessed every day. I mean, that's why I pounce out of bed. I say I pounce out of bed, Jim, but quite honestly, when I put the balls of my feet on the floor, I'm like, ooh, that hurts a little bit. It's many years of working. I think I have 40-some-odd years of working really hard almost every single day. I cut my hours from 110 hours a week down to only 60. And now it gives me an opportunity to be with my family more often in that nature. So you know how it works. It's show business.
It's a lot of work, though. And let's keep this in mind. Top Fuel, part-time. You get it right when you get there. But guess what? You guys get it right when you are there. Not just, I hope we do this right. We are chasing technology. We have the knowledge and ability. But the times you get to race, man, I love repeating this year upon year when we have you on the show. Uh-oh, Zizzo's here. He ain't gonna just put on a show. He's going to be in the show. Hang on.
We're bad to the bone. I mean, some of our team members have been with us over 30 years. I mean, it's impressive. I don't know. My dad and I are not the easiest to work for. We are just not. We're on the edge. We're always trying to do better. But the people that have really, the core members that have been with us for a really long time. And that just shows you how dedicated my dad is, how dedicated I am, how dedicated our team is. So, yeah, when our competitors see us on the entry list, they know darn well that we're going to kick their butt. I mean, that's what they know.
And there's a buy-in there because they know they have a job to do. They are there long enough to know, okay, this is what needs to happen. What do you say? How do you say it? That's kind of that cool thing you guys have going. But I'm just so impressed that you guys continue to perform. And now you're at your home track, which there's a lot of discussion. Route 66 Raceway in Joliet, great drag strip, great facility. The big track we don't know about, the dirt track we don't know about, and this NHRA meet coming to Route 66 Raceway in a couple weekends is going to be a really special event. But we don't know if that's the last one, do we?
We don't. But what we do know is that NHRA comes in and rents the track for the weekend. Last year was completely sold out. The event just was a thrill. So we'll see if that takes place again this year. And that will, of course, always dictate the next year. But NHRA goes in there and they do a really good job. I hope the racetrack is prepared as it was last year. Sometimes you wonder if a racetrack sits dormant for over a year or about a year and then comes back out, will there be different bumps and different variances in the racetrack? And last year was awesome. So we hope for a good competition again this year.
I just thought of a question. You are going 330 plus miles per hour and 1,000 feet, yet you can also compute, I think the left lane's better, as you're making a pass to qualify in those 4 rounds to make the show.
Jim, I got to tell you, the world slows down. The world slows down at that rate of speed. I mean, my heart rate slows. Everything slows because you have to take it in. We're talking thousandths of a second. You mentioned that NASCAR event last weekend. Yeah. You mentioned it Kentucky Derby. This has been happening in drag racing since the onset. 4 digits.
Now we're going 4 wide for 4 digits.
Right.
Next to the decimal.
Yeah, it's amazing. So, there is – that's another thing. Like, I get older, but I also get wiser with it all. And I'm blessed. Like I told you 100 times. Like, I climb behind a race car, and that is a thrill and something I will never forget, especially doing it with my dad. Doing this with my dad is important too, right? Mm-hmm. Now last year, I believe my wife went to every single event. You know why, Jim? Because I'm not working 100 hours a week anymore.
Okay.
That's why.
Yeah.
So she came out and supported me because I'm supporting her at home, right? Yep. So it's a good family atmosphere, and it's great.
I know your schedule is sometimes set by what your sponsors require or request, or that's a market they want to explore. You have the good opportunity to have some good sponsors that say, okay, we want to go here, here, and here. Let's not go here. Let's go to Denver instead of going to Chicago, right? You've had that happen to you.
Oh, yeah.
When it comes to Rust-Oleum, a product you guys cultivated as a motorsport sponsor, what's it look like on their perspective? What's it looking like when you get to the track? How many demands are there for you to compete at this high level with a sponsor like Rust-Oleum?
God, I'm gonna really wear the word out today. Blessed again, right? So we work with Rust-Oleum heavily in our body shop. We do a lot of R&D for them. We do, they come out with new products all the time, and even the new tip that they debuted last year, right? They debuted a new nozzle that allows different variants of paint and how much is applied and can be applied.
Huh.
I don't want to say it started in our shop, but right away when I got paired up with them maybe 10 years ago, I said, man, your nozzles need to be changed. And it took some time, and things are working. So needless to say, they don't put a lot of pressure on us at the racetrack. They don't. They enjoy us spending time with fans. They enjoy our performance. They want to make sure that we do the best job we can, and they supply us financially to be able to do that, right? So I think the pressure does not come from our marketing partner. It comes from within. It comes from me and our team members. But their demands are not as strong as one would think. They do a really good job of letting us do the best job we can.
TJ Zizzo joining us, Zizzo Racing, long involved in motorsports in the upper Midwest, drag racing to the core. It's going to happen at NHRA. It's going to come to Route 66 Raceway. We encourage you to go see it. It's an amazing show. You said it sold out last year. I'm guessing we'll be close to that.
Oh, I would think so. I would absolutely think so. Chicagoland area and Milwaukee, it's a drag racing community. You have Great Lakes Dragway, you got Byron, you got many drag races.
Kaukauna?
Yeah, Kaukauna. Yeah. Wow, that is a place that I saw my dad race at as a child, right? It's awesome.
Yeah.
Is it still good? Is there still like a bar up on top at the end of the racetrack? That's so cool.
Yeah, because some racetracks go uphill. If you ever notice that in drag racing, there's a downhill slope and then it comes uphill. Boom, there you go. Get a cold one when you're done.
Amazing. That's a great memory.
Not quite that late. Where will we see you race and perform? Is Route 66 right now the target, or do you have a schedule?
No, we do have a schedule.
All right.
Absolutely. I mean, last year, so a couple things happened over the offseason. One, my dad came to me probably mid-December, and he goes, TJ, what are we doing? I go, what do you mean, Dad? He goes, we are trying to compete against billionaires.
Yes.
Right? We are definitely competing against millionaires. And what do you think? Why are we doing this? Like, he was kind of telling me, like, we have invested a lot of money into our new race car. We've invested into our team. But can we really do it? And I just stared him straight in the face and I said, we can do it. This is why we do it. So last year we went to Vegas at the end of the year, traveled all the way out there. I drove the semi for a long period of time. We actually brought 2 vehicles out there, one to go to SEMA and one to go to the racetrack. And on my way back, my dad would always complain about the long pull out west all the time, right? He would always complain to me. I'm like, Dad, no big deal. This is a piece of cake. Well, I must be getting older. So we are not going to go out west this year like we did last. We're going to have a Midwest tour. We'll go to Chicago.
Yep.
Then we'll go to Norwalk, Ohio. Great racetrack, end of June. Then we're going to go back to Norwalk. We were invited to go to the Night Under Fire. Bill Bader, the owner of Norwalk, called me and said, hey, we would love to have you there. I go, well, only world champions go there. He goes, you're a world champion with the fans. So
Wow.
we want you here. So that was super cool. And then we'll go to Indianapolis, Labor Day weekend for the U.S. Nationals, biggest race of the year, and then end it in St. Louis. So
Wow,
yeah,
you are staying closer to home.
we are staying closer to home.
That's
and
cool.
And I may have to go to SEMA just to bring one of our show cars out there, but we'll figure that out as the time progresses.
That is really cool.
Yeah, it
I
is
know we've
awesome.
had your son on this show. You brought your daughter Maddie with you tonight. Are there interests? Are there people taking up all the sim time that you have on your reaction tree? And they're your youngins. Are they looking to do something with drag racing?
So you mentioned that, right? And when my parents set me into a race car, I was 16 years old. I had just turned 16 years old. And they didn't have any cool junior dragsters back then or anything. And I look at it now, my kids are about that age, right? And I look at it, I go, I don't think I have the courage to put them in a race car, right?
Okay.
So my son has gone through the junior drag racing category. He's done very well. We've enjoyed it. Jim, I mean, I know there's a risk out there, right? Every single time that I would board my kids on the bus and I would go to an event, I know there is an opportunity to have a bad accident, right? I mean, this is what we do as thrill seekers. I don't know if I have that same thrill for my kids, although I got to tell you, Maddie sitting in the audience, she's wild. She's crazy, right? She's like me. She likes to talk. She likes to do things.
She's not denying that either.
No, she's energetic.
No blush, no nothing. Like, yep, you're out right, Dad.
When we were getting her license, she was, sorry, officer, she was going like 100 miles an hour down 294.
Driver's license or
yeah,
drag race
driver's
license?
license.
Doing a little of both then.
Yeah,
Okay,
and I'm
all
like,
right.
Maddie, you should slow down. Like we're going 100 and you don't even have your license yet. So we'll see. But my son has also showed interest. But my son is to the core an engineer, right? So I think he likes the mechanics of it. And my daughter would be way cuter than me, no doubt, and probably way more marketable. But we'll see how this goes. Once again, I don't have the courage to put him in a race car. I'm a little, worried about it all.
Okay, that's fair enough. What kind of toys did you bring this time? Because this is an awesome cigarette holder if you ever smoke cigarettes. They're ashtrays that are really big and shiny. What'd you bring today?
I got to tell you, I love smoking cigars, and why haven't I used one of our pistons?
I don't know.
As an ashtray.
Yeah, you could maybe have like a little one of those cutters on just through the ring there.
You know what? Marketing right there. We
right.
can help pay for our racing. But yeah, piston and rod right there. T-shirts. We have a woman's T-shirt, men's T-shirt, a couple starting line uniforms. Yeah, man. I try to come here somewhat prepared. I got to tell you guys, I was thrashing to get here. It felt good to eat. Paulie's has excellent food,
What'd you get?
by the way.
What'd you eat?
A BLT. It was fantastic. So I'm a little bit of a food coma now,
It's always great to have you here. Thanks for being here once again. We wish you the best in a week and a half. Home track advantage, NHRA Route 66 Nationals coming with TJ Zizzo, fully loaded. 4 barrels, not 2. 4 barrels or 8 barrels or 20 barrels.
Yeah,
and a lot of nitro going, whoop, 330 plus. How about a big hand for TJ Zizzo joining us here?
Thank you, guys.
We're having a bunch of fun here at Paulie's Pub and Eatery. Thank you for being here once again. It's always a pleasure, and we got one of our guys going for the big cash against the big dogs. He's right in the fight. We're coming right back with more on this edition of the Racing Roundup Show. We've got the Bob Trado sign writer backdrop here to have TJ sign. And our next guest already has his autograph, well, maybe a couple places. He's been here at least once a year, but he brought a Dick Trickle door from Dick Trickle's magical season in that purple 99 Mustang. And that's signed by Dick Trickle. And Richie owns it. We're going to talk to him about the great Dick Trickle Memorial Project. They're having a big to-do, the 10th annual Dick Trickle Memorial Project gathering on May 19th in Rudolph, Wisconsin. We'll talk to Richie about one of his driving heroes, one of his mentors, and how much fun we're going to have on May 19th. If you get a chance to go, we'll tell you why you need to be there and nowhere else. We'll be right back.
Join the racing crowd every Tuesday night at 6 p.m. Central all season long. Contact us on our website, racingroundupshow.com. We'll be right back with more of the Upper Midwest and Wisconsin racing scene, NASCAR, and the world of motorsports.
Greenfield Gallery wants to buy your racing collection. Do you have die-cast cars from IndyCar, Sprint Car, or short tracks? Greenfield Gallery wants them. If you have old racing programs, racing photos, and negatives, Greenfield Gallery wants those too. Contact Ralph Hibbert Jr. at Greenfield Gallery, who wants to buy your racing collection. Ralph also has an ever-changing eBay store full of racing collectibles. Search Greenfield Gallery. Email Ralph right now to get connected. His email address is ralph@greenfieldgallery.net.
At Automatic Transmission Design, we know your vehicle is important to you. When your transmission needs servicing, take it to the best. ATD in Germantown, Wisconsin. ATD understands how important it is to get your vehicle fixed right the first time. When you take your vehicle to ATD, our ASE trained technicians will run diagnostic tests to pinpoint the exact problem and answer any questions you may have before repairs begin. ATD has been providing high-quality, honest repairs to customers for over 15 years. We service all makes and models using the best parts and equipment available. When you come to ATD, you will get an honest assessment of the problem, simple explanations, experienced technicians, competitive pricing, high-quality parts, and their 100% guarantee. Money is not the goal at ATD. It is the result of fixing the problem and returning the vehicle to you. That is their goal. The next time your vehicle needs quality transmission service, give Charlie a call at 262-251-7777 or visit autotransdesign.com.
Jiffy Lube has locations across Wisconsin to serve you. Visit jiffylube.com to locate your store and to find the latest coupons and promotional offers. You're greeted by a friendly and knowledgeable staff. Grab a water or coffee and know you and your vehicle are in good hands. Windshield wipers, new tires, and alignments are a few of the many services offered. Jiffy Lube proudly features Pennzoil. There's a whole lot more than no appointment drive-up oil changes at Jiffy Lube. Welcome to personalized car care. Wisconsin race fans, find your store at jiffylube.com.
Organized like the pros with Hefner Racing Products. Take your trailer to the next level. Upgrade your garage, streamline your shop. Whether you're tearing up the track or tackling home projects, Hefner Racing Products has you covered with the best made and widest variety of organizational accessories made right here in Wisconsin. Shop online now at hrpracing.com.
Mower Series at Olson Outdoor Power is raising the bar on performance with smarter controls, longer run times, and more comfort. Add in layaway and financing from Olson's, and there's no lawn you can't conquer. Buy the best from the best. Gravely at Olson's Outdoor Power, Muskego.
Check out our website, racingroundupshow.com, to watch show archives, see photos from decades of our program, and links to support our awesome show advertisers. Now let's get back to more of the Racing Roundup Show.
Welcome back to the Racing Roundup Show on this Tuesday night, May 7th. Glad to have you with us here on the program. We're back here next Tuesday night, May 14th. We got a lot of things planned for you then. Our schedule will be on our Facebook page. It'll be pushed out on socials as well. Follow us at Racing Roundup on Twitter and Instagram and our Facebook page, like the Racing Roundup Show, and you get to see this show anytime you feel like it. On our website, racingroundupshow.com, click the live button, search on the show, and have some fun with us at your leisure, as the English say. This portion of the show is brought to you by Midwest Truck Series. It's the series supported by Tommy Picaro Motorsports and Wagner Automotive. Congrats to Jeff Holtz, who won the Big Joe Shear 36, presented by Club Lamarck this past Sunday at Madison International Speedway. Dramatic finish there. We have full coverage for you of that during Bill Holland's In the Groove segment tonight. If you want more information on the series and where they're headed next, go to MidwestTruckSeries.com. Here's another reminder to set your DVRs for this Saturday at 11:30 a.m. And we have a special show for you. If you didn't catch it, we want to show it to you. We had a part of our show last Tuesday put on to CW18. And you get a chance to see that portion with Will Power, the IndyCar champion. And we also had a chance to talk to Max Kaler, one of the KDDP drivers, Quickie Driver Development. We're going to talk to Max on that show. So that'll be airing this Friday at 4:30 p.m. So Friday at 4:30, we want that show to be in your plans and set the DVR. We also want you to plan for Friday night, 8 o'clock, the 100 Days of the Indy on CW Network only. It's week 3 of a 6-week run leading up to the Indy 500, and afterward, some lifestyle stuff there to find out more about the stars of the Indy 500 who are coming to Road America on the weekend of June 6, 7, 8, and 9. Go to roadamerica.com to find out more details on all the good things there, including Will Power, who visited us in person 1 week ago. So it's kind of cool to have Will part of our program and part of that show. Again, that special airing is Friday, 4:30 p.m. on CW18 Milwaukee. We're right back at you with part of this show next Saturday, 11:30 a.m. as per usual on CW18 Milwaukee. Looking forward to having you join us here at one of our shows. We have a very special guest next, and he'll be part of our TV program for this Saturday. Let's start that little clock right about now, and here we go. Welcome back to the Racing Roundup Show. We're pleased to have a lot of folks here with us on a regular Tuesday night and join the racing crowd. We encourage you to do the same. Come to racingroundupshow.com, look for the schedule page, and join the racing crowd. We do the show every week in front of a live audience. We're so happy to have our show as well on Saturdays on CW18 Milwaukee, where we get to talk about all things racing, and hopefully you find a chance to get to the racetrack and support these racers and teams that we talk about each and every week on the show. A gentleman who's been driving for over 45 years, drives that number 45, and I say drives as a current tense. He is a driver that spent a lot of time racing across the country. I believe he raced 1 year, 136 times in the same race car, I think. Let's welcome in.
Not the same car.
Well, let's welcome in the guy who did a whole lot of racing in a couple of cars. Rich Bickle, thanks for coming on the show, man.
Great to be back.
I'm glad you're here to set me straight.
Well, we were in the 500 in a different car.
Oh, you counted that one too.
The ARCA races.
Yeah, okay.
But I probably ran 115 short track races in the same car.
The Daytona 500, and then you go out and win the 4th or 5th Snowball Derby that year. Yeah, it's kind of neat that you get that opportunity. And people know and knew and still know how much of a bad guy you really are behind the wheel. Bad isn't good, as the kids would say.
Well, you get back to stories. It's like I seen Watson and Hansen at Madison the other day, and me and Dave really got talking, and people don't realize how great David Watson was. And I said, we started talking about racing and doing this and doing that, and I said I was probably one of the fortunate people in the world to grow up with them guys, because I was a punk kid, but they'd take you underneath your wing and they would teach you how to race. And if you did something wrong, they would tell you did something wrong. And they just, to even think that to win almost 500 features against them guys is just, it's mind-boggling that I even got to do it after stealing the first car at the barn.
Somebody else's car, like, hey, look at that thing as a race car. There's many, many treasured memories you have, and I'm glad we got a chance to tell them on this show. As you were winding down your career, you wanted to say, I'm done racing, but it's not done yet. There's a lot more racing to do, it sounds like, and you've got really good race cars, and we saw at the Dell's Icebreaker 100. I'm thinking it's like, you know what? I got the car, and the way you raced at the Dell's before you had that issue, you qualified in top 5, raced really well until you had a mechanical. I mean, it's not lost. You didn't forget it. It's right there still.
Well, the only reason I really come back last year is because Rockford was going away. Mm-hmm. And that was like my hometown track. My dad raced it forever. That place was like going to Disneyland compared to anywhere else. I mean, Udiri by far is the greatest promoter in short track race in history. And when that was going away, I mean, I tell everybody, I think I won everything there was to win. I mean, they had a grocery cart push, a bowling ball throw, a bicycle race, a demolition derby, all the things he had at halftime. But I can never win the short track race. Well, when he finally won that, and I grew up with the Deary kids. We're all about the same age, and when that place said it was going away, I knew when Ma Deary died, it was coming to the end. But when they said that was it, I had the car was sitting for almost a year and a half, and we drug it out of the mothballs, and we had a brake caliper come loose, and I had no brakes for 40 laps. We fixed it halfway and come back and ran second, but. It never goes away. And then Jerry Albee asked me if I'd come run the Dells last year, and I said yeah. And then we tried to put a deal together for the spring, and we did that. But been working on marketing partners, working on some deals right now that's close. It just takes a lot of money, and all the equipment sitting there. It's kind of sitting there rotten because nobody wants to rent it. So we might as well put something together and go race.
You're in a really good place because I know how much you appreciate history and how much you still want to dig, and you still have good equipment. You still have that fire. Mm-hmm. I want to talk about the Dick Trickle Memorial Project, something that is near and dear to you because It was a labor of love by Tom Rafter and select few, Terry Burnham as well, who couldn't be here tonight. But it's cool to know that there's a statue in Rudolph, Wisconsin. There is a park themed park where you could buy a piece of history. You can put your own message on there, and you did that for several occasions, right? Helping support, contribute to make sure that legacy lives on.
Well, it's amazing what them guys done. You know, you got to look at this. It's hard to imagine that Tom, Dick, and Marv Marzoff could come out of that little town. And back then, right now it's like 400 people. Back then it had to be 150 people. And then Jim Bach grew up 7 miles down the road. And them 4 guys won 2,500 features.
Yeah.
I mean, it's beyond mind-boggling. And what them guys done for his memorial and what they've done. And last year when Tom passed away, that was kind of sad because, you know, I mean, there's only 2 guys won 67 features, and you know, they've done a great job with that whole thing. And this is the last year, as far as being a promoted event, and here to promote that today and talk about it.
May 19th is the gathering, and they're going to stop selling those memorial slabs and bricks and what you can put in the ground and say Dick was my hero, because he's one of my heroes. This is your last chance, and I want to make sure that park stays on. And if the Dick Trickle Memorial Project on Facebook is where you want to find out more, May 19th is a great time to go and check it out yourself, but you can go any time of the year. I've seen people take pictures with Dick. They have a beer in his hand as it's formed, and it's snowing out or whatever it is. It's a destination as well. It's kind of cool. I want to talk about the destination that landed you at the Dick Trickle Memorial Project. This car door, that famous purple Mustang, the 99. You told me on Sunday at Madison there was not the A&W root beer decal on this one. Tell us what this door was from, how many wins Dick had that year.
This was off his 67 feature win car in 72. And on the way up there, me and Darcy got talking, and I said, after you raced the guy for all these years, how I had nothing from him.
Yeah.
You know, you don't think about it when you're banging fenders every night and drinking beer and having fun. And on the way up there, we went through the tent, and they had some knickknacks and all that, you know. And I said, well, I'm going to go through the tent one more time, and all of a sudden this door's laying there. And I'm like, well, where'd this come from? And the guy goes, oh, this is off a 67 feature win car. I go, it can't be because Wayne Lensing has it. Keith Simmons restoring it. And I know where that car's at. And he goes, no, this is off that car because that's the only year his name was lettered in yellow. I'm like, where'd it come from? They go, we don't know. And I'm like, what do you mean you don't know? He said, we just walked in here, it's laying there. So after I paid an exorbitant amount of money for it, I was out there actually talking with Tom. And this guy walks up and he asked me if I was crazy. And I said, well, I've been called worse. And he goes, why would you spend that kind of money for that door? And I said, well, this door should be in the Smithsonian Institute. You know, I said, off the winningest driver and the winningest car in the history of the world. And actually, this is the guy who brought the door there. And make a long story short, his neighbor had it. And how he got it was their 3 kids were playing down in the creek. And he went down there and was going to chew their butts for playing in the creek by his house. And they pulled this door out of the creek.
Amazing.
And how this door ended up in a creek, I have no idea. He has no idea, but anyway, the guy put it in his garage, and somewhere in the 90s he went down to Slinger Nationals and had Dick sign it, put it back in his garage, and he ended up having cancer and was going to pass away, so he gave it to his neighbor to bring down there. And I told Manstead, I said, I don't think, you know, I got a little bit of money, and I know he has got a lot of money, but I was walking away with that door that day, and that's kind of what happened. But it's kind of cool that thinking you don't have anything and then end up with this.
Something priceless. A lot of great stories with Rich Bickle. You see him at the racetrack. See him here at the show. Rich is a really cool guy to hang out with, and those stories, they're plentiful, and they're all true, I think. How about a big hand for Rich Bickle for joining us here today? Thanks, Rich.
You bet. Thank you for having me.
We're back with more on this edition of the Racing Roundup Show. We'll be right back. And TV's done. It's that easy. We're going to talk more, Rich. There's something you asked me if it's okay to tell on the show, and I wanted to maybe get it in that TV portion, but it's so impactful knowing that Dick Trickle meant more to you than a lot of people. I do recall one of my favorite stories was when Trickle walked up to you at a race and said, you know what? You've graduated the Dick Trickle School of asking me for everything because I think you're good enough to not ask, and I'm going to race you hard, and you've earned the right to say, you're now a competitor. You're not a guy that just needs to get advice and be good enough. You're good right now.
That was at Kaukauna in 1985, and I won that night. That's my first half-mile feature win. Everybody would think that I won a championship at Madison that year. That Madison had been my first half-mile win, but actually it was Kaukauna.
Wow.
And that was that night. And, I mean, when God told me he was worthy, you couldn't knock the smile off my face when I turned and walked away. So it was like, okay, this is good. And then winning that night, I mean, I think we got home on Sunday. We raced Thursday night.
This time of year, I think of Dick Trickle. It was May of 2013 when Dick said, "This life on Earth is no longer what I would like to be part of." He had severe pain. He was struggling with pain for quite a while. But Rich, I want to bring that up because it affected a lot of people, but you more than most, and you haven't shared this story with many people, but if you wouldn't mind, tell us about what transpired with you right around that very time when Dick passed away.
Well, it's kind of ironic. I went to the doctor and I was getting my physical, and my doctor is actually one of my customers. I built him a bunch of hot rods, and we got done with the physical, and I'm sitting here, and he's sitting there, computer, working on the computer and typing things up, and he says, "Man, you're in really good shape. Everything looks great." And all of a sudden, I got this ball of fire feel coming through me, and I look at him and I said, "I'm going to pass out." And I hit the floor head first, split my head open, and all I had was race dreams. And next thing, it's like you have people beating on you, and you're trying to wake up, but you can't wake up. And they got me up on the little table in the room with a plastic wrapper on the thing, and I wake up, and he's looking at me. I'm looking at him, and I go, "What in the heck was that?" And he goes, "You tell me." I go, I have no idea. And I said, "Well, here it comes again." Ball of fire goes through me. I pass out. Race dream. Just flashes, just nothing put together, just. So anyway, they call the ambulance in Stoughton. They take me to Stoughton Hospital. It happens again in the emergency room. And finally, when this is over, they get me up and they put me in a regular room. And they can't find nothing wrong. They don't know what's going on. And I'm sitting there, man. When I say a ball of fire, it felt like I had 1,000 degrees coming through me.
Wow.
So I'm up in the room and I flipped the TV on, and it must have been right at 5 o'clock. And something about Dick Trickle being on television. I'm like, what would he be on TV for? Well, they come on, and next thing they said that
Dick passed away.
He committed suicide, and I'm like, you got to be kidding me. So make a long story short, they couldn't find nothing wrong with me. Everything was fine. We leave. I get home that next day, and I get on the computer and get online, and this happened to me 15 minutes after he shot himself.
Wow.
So I probably told 5 people the story my entire life.
Thank you
for
sharing with us.
It's kind of crazy to think that. But, I knew me and him were tight. I mean, we were close. I mean, I think I was like his son think about this. Richard Leroy Trickle, Richard Allen Bickle. I mean, the name can't get much closer. The only things we didn't have in common is he smoked cigarettes. I can't stand him. He raced in cowboy boots. I don't know how he did that, and I'm 1.5 feet taller. But besides that, I mean, he took me under his arm for a lot of years and did a lot of things, and so many stories, so much good times, and I mean, it just that day that happened, that just cemented me. Because only other thing like that happened to me the day my mom died, a certain situation with another person that was mind-boggling. So there's 2 things in my life that make you go, man, there is something definitely out there that's not normal.
Yeah.
But like with Dick, though, I mean, we went to Triple Crown in 90, the year when I ran all them races, and we set a pole on one Friday night, set a track record one Saturday night, and we're in St. Pete. There's a industrial parks racetrack, and there was a bar there. And we went to the bar. We got kicked out of the bar. We're in the parking lot drinking beer, and then Dick goes, "Is that the sun?" Well, we got to Bradenton 15 minutes late. It's 100 degrees out. Never went to bed, and I'll never forget. Bradenton had an octagon hamburger stand in the pits. Okay. And they had a water spigot up behind it. I put my underneath the water about 5 minutes, went out, sat fast time, won the race. And we never went to bed. But that was just kind of part of the deal with them guys. I mean, they taught you how to have fun and how to race, and just, like I said, like we're talking with Watson and Hansen, I mean, you couldn't, to do what our sport is, you couldn't have grew up with a better bunch of guys. I mean, just phenomenal.
Yeah.
To learn from them, and Joe, and I mean, everybody. I tell the people the Mike Chase story. Come here in '83, and he said,
he was a hot dog on the West Coast. He was like the guy. Like Sleepy Strip came through here and running a midget for a summer. Mike Chase had every credential in the stock cars out on the West Coast, and he came here to race.
Well, Bach, Ruffner, and Degens will go out there in the early '80s and just lay it to him. So he decided in '83 he's going to come here and race. And he ran 4 nights a week. He never made a feature till Madison at mid-season. He finished 17th. So he actually worked on the deal at Kale's when I drove for Kale. And we got talking about that. And he goes, I knew that Trickle and Shearer back there. He said, but when I got back there were 40 more of you guys nobody heard of that were like unbelievable. And I always tell people, the 50 greatest short track asphalt guys in the United States, 40 of them live in the Midwest. You throw Blue Ridley, Dave Mader, Larry Phillips, some guys from down south in there. But there's a reason why Rusty Wallace and Mark Martin come up here to learn how to race. This was it. And it's, if you could race up here, you could race anywhere.
Rich, I know you want to race some more. You also are interested in having perhaps a young driver, a young family get together and say, let's do this with the way Rich has done it, working on equipment. How can we find out more about what you're doing? And I know you'll be at some tracks with or without a race car coming up. How can we get a hold of you to maybe talk to you about funding your team or getting involved with what you're doing with your race cars?
Well, we're definitely going to run the 45th Slinger Nationals because it's the 45th.
Okay.
We're putting a new car together for that. I still got all the cars sitting there. We got 7-8 cars there, all the equipment, everything's sitting there. And we thought we'd do a rental program, but nobody wants to come up here and race because you got to race 35 cars instead of down south. You got to race 12. So when the rich daddy's kids go, oh, my kid finished 7th down south. Well, up here he finished 27th. So it's just a different scenario. Nobody wanted to do the rental program. And I said, well, I've been working on sponsorship. I've been working on marketing partners. And we put something together. We're going to come back and go race.
Cool.
But we're going to run the Nationals. And what's kind of ironic is today that you said that the Milwaukee race is on my dad's birthday, my dad's 85th birthday. So I've never won at Milwaukee or Nashville, the two tracks that I've never won a race at that I would like to win at. And I think if we can put something together here next week that we'll probably have a car ready for Milwaukee.
Ah, cool. You got a couple.
And if I sell my shop to Richie Waters as owner, I might have to drive a truck too.
Wow. All right.
Never know.
Yeah. I got my Dickies number 15 hat waiting on the shelf in the garage, Rich. That's when you drove by. I think that was Richie's truck, right? Or was it Billy Ballou's truck?
Well, I was Billy Ballou.
All right.
And Billy, I still have my shop down south. Shiggy Torres in there right now with Richie Waters.
Okay.
And Billy Ballou just met with them last week.
Oh.
And they're trying to put a deal together to run 2 teams out of there. So I'm going to try to sell them the shop here next week and try to put a deal together. And, geez, I might have to put a Milwaukee race in there. Just, see if this old guy can race the 15-year-olds again.
Well, Shiggy's got an ARCA car going again with Sean Hingarani. And they probably have some trucks left in that shop that they used last year. So this could all come magically together.
I know they got all brand new stuff that Richie's putting together. So you never know what's going to happen.
That's the cool thing about knowing you.
Yeah.
We never know what's going to happen next. What's on the horizon? Costa Rica. Hey, I got this idea. And now you're going racing again. How about a big hand for Rich Bickle, everybody? Such a pleasure to have you on the show. Thanks,
you,
Rich.
Everybody.
Thank you for being here. Thanks for bringing Darcy down, too. Looking forward to seeing you at the track. He'll be at the Slinger Nationals. The 45th running of the Slinger Nationals is Tuesday night, July 9th. We will be there with our Racing Roundup show. And you heard it here second because I told my kid the other day I got a call. I will be on the call for Racing America on the 45th Annual Slinger Nationals on the live stream. So looking forward to working with my friends there and to see you there for our show. And then we're going to hang out with you. If you can't make it there, the live stream's on Racing America for the Slinger Nationals. I'm pretty stoked about that. More to come. We've got a beautiful Badger Midget sitting outside. Thank you, Mike Strike, for getting such a detailed job on that. We got Quinn McCabe on the way as well. We've got a lot of things to talk about in terms of the short track world. We just covered a little bit of the NASCAR stuff. We like to have you here with our show so we can cover more about racing and we can bench race with you here at Paulie's Pub and Eatery on the upcoming Tuesday night. We'll be right back with more on this edition of the Racing Roundup Show.
Thanks for tuning in to the Racing Roundup Show. Check out our website, racingroundupshow.com, and like our show on Facebook. Join us on Twitter and Instagram at Racing Roundup. We're coming right back after these messages from our awesome show sponsors.
Adams Towing offers expert heavy-duty towing services for the entire state of Wisconsin from their Plover headquarters. Since 1961, 3 generations of heavy-duty towing specialists and racing supporters have provided towing, flatbed, and reload service, plus winching and upright, long boom service, truck starting, and cleanup. Adams Towing proudly sponsors Ryan Farrell's Super Late Model team. Put Adams Towing and their experienced team and their fleet of heavy-duty tow trucks and rollbacks to work for you. Call Adams Towing today at 715-344-3836.
Danny Lynch's at the corner of Highway 100 and Lincoln is a great place to watch NASCAR races, Packer games, Brewer games, and to meet up with your friends. Joey and Jim Lynch pride themselves on their friendly hospitality and welcome Racing Roundup listeners to stop in to watch all the races on their 14 TVs and flat screens. Danny Lynch's at the corner of Highway 100 and Lincoln has been a longtime supporter of racers, including National Road Racing Motorcycle Champion Dan Belansky. Relax around the big neighborhood bar with 2 pool tables and dartboards surrounded by TVs. Whether you're meeting up before the game, want to watch the races with race fans, or just want to grab a cold one, head to Danny Lynch's at the corner of Highway 100 Lincoln and West Dallas.
427-1000. American Foundation.
When your foundation is in need of repair, you need three things: an honest opinion, quality work, and fair prices. Call American.
Trust and dedication. That's American Foundation.
Call American right now for huge savings.
427-1000. American Foundation.
Bobby Gutnick and the technicians at Oak Creek Automotive on South 27th Street in Drexel are experts in automotive repair. For 35 years and counting, the Napa Certified Car Care Center at Oak Creek Automotive handles emission testing, tires, and complete auto, truck, and SUV repair. From oil changes to transmission replacement. 414-761-3250 to schedule your free inspection appointment. For all your vehicle repair needs, head to South 27th in Drexel to the experts at Oak Creek Automotive.
Grassroots drag racing is open to everyone at Great Lakes Dragway in Union Grove. Make GLD your home track. Come and enjoy the show or challenge your friends to be part of the show. Bracket racing for all classes and juniors opens this weekend. Pro classes, street classes, and even bikes and sled classes. Check our website for the most updated calendar and upcoming big shows. GreatLakesDragaway.com.
Like our show on Facebook and share our content with other race fans. We hope to see you at one of our upcoming shows too. Join racers, other race fans, and win prizes. Now let's get back to more of the Racing Roundup Show.
Hey, welcome back to the Racing Roundup Show. It's a ball of fun tonight. It's a ball of fun to do our show now for our 40th season of the Racing Roundup Show. We have the El Presidente on approach. We'll get to him in a moment. We also have Mike Strike sitting next to me. This portion of the show is brought to you by Allied Resource Recovery. Your recyclable metals are ready to be turned into cash. Go to ARR Waukesha on 1001 Tesh Court or go to ARR West Dallas. You can find their full list of accepted materials at ARR1938.com. Actually, you can almost see ARR West Dallas from walking out the back door here at Pauley's. It's not that far away. Right across the railroad tracks. Boom. Turn your recyclable metals into cash. This week's Anderson Maple Syrup Racing Short Track Spotlight features a driver competing right here, right now in the Badger Midget Series, the AFS Badger Midget Series. He also brought in the president of Badger Midgets, Quinn McCabe. Let's welcome to the show our Anderson Spotlight driver, Mike Strike. Mike, thanks for coming down.
Thanks for having us again, Jim. So we are happy to be here almost every year around this time to get the season kicked off. So
we're getting there, aren't we? This weekend, Kankakee and Sycamore back-to-back.
This is true. Unfortunately, we can't have a doubleheader in Wisconsin, but if we got to go and have a doubleheader, I guess, we'll go down by Quinn in Illinois.
But you know what it is? It's called demand.
Mm-hmm.
People want to see a race.
Correct.
Tracks are calling Quinn all the time saying you guys have a great product. And you're part of it. You are involved with the board, right?
Yep, vice president, actually. So I can speak for Quinn if he's off mic at the moment. So.
What else can we say about Quinn? Because he has a lot to say when he's on our show.
Yeah, no, I can't hear him outside of these, so we're good.
Hey, I'd like to remind you, Anderson's Maple Syrup. We're giving some away tonight. I can't go too far without shining the spotlight on Anderson's. They're a great Wisconsin company. They're a supporter of racing efforts again this year on our show and of a couple of guys named Bill Baylog and Jason Gross. Take it with you with Pure Fuel Maple Energy on the go. You can buy Anderson's Maple Syrup at your favorite grocer or online at andersonspuremaplesyrup.com. Thanks to Steve Anderson and the family for their support. Mike, it is a family when it comes to Badger Midget Racing. And we talk about the schedule. We talk about the season. We talk about all the things that you get the chance to kind of like say, we're going where? This is kind of cool. I like going back to that place. You guys have a great schedule, don't you?
This is true, yeah. I mean, just like you alluded to, too, yeah, we have more tracks that want us than we can actually go to. So we don't want to have the family strung out too thin, obviously, throughout the season, that we have too many races on the schedule. So the tracks that do want us, it's great, and we're happy to be going back down to Sycamore and Kankakee also for the second time in a row.
Speaking of going back to racetracks, you've not done this for 30 years, but it's got to be cool. You got a notebook that's getting kind of thick and a bunch of ink in it now, isn't it? How many years have you been doing this?
Oh, it's got to be close to probably the 8th year so far.
That many already?
Yeah, it's grown. Yeah, grown up quick, I guess.
Holy
and
cow.
Denny Smith got me into it not too long ago, just straight out of go-karts, and we sort of just kept on at it. Then when we run into this guy, it's trouble then. So,
hey, guess what? This guy is now with us, and the season starts. Kankakee is a cool racetrack. Sycamore has become a second home for the Badger Midgets as well as the Mars Midgets. I mean, that's really cool to bring that back. Let's welcome in now the president and the vice president. We got it right this time. Quinn McCabe, thanks for coming down to the show.
Hey, thanks for having me on.
We got a piston right there.
I see that.
We were going to move that out of the way, but you know what? It's kind of cool and shiny. It only happens once a year where we get kind of cool parts like that.
It is.
In your racing days, did you ever have a piston like that, shaped like that, out of the car or in pieces out of the car perhaps at some point?
No.
Not that big, but I'm saying, you know.
No, not at all.
Nothing through the side of the block or nothing through the oil pan?
Nothing like that.
How about you, Mike?
Oh, I mean, I haven't seen it for my own car, but my teammates, yes, we've seen a couple of rods come out the sides. Nothing that sizable, but.
So you guys are racers. I want to ask about heavy tracks. I saw some highlights of a heavy track this past weekend in open wheel sprint cars, and I'm thinking this time of year could be a heavy track. Does that drain the horsepower on your 2.4 liters you guys have in the Badger Midgets? Do you guys just kind of run right through it? How do you combat the early spring wetness of a given track, if there is a wetness to be run through?
Well, I'd say, yeah, it's tough on, I think, any engine when a track is super, super heavy, and if it's not geared right especially. And, yeah, I think it's putting the motor under a lot of strain, especially the past week. Unfortunately, I wasn't able to make it to Beaver Dam, but, yeah, when you had those cold temperatures as well, making a lot of horsepower and putting those engines to the test, it can be a struggle.
The schedule begins in earnest here for the Badger Midget Series. It was the spring trifecta with icicles at Beaver Dam Raceway, but you got a chance, Quinn, to showcase the Badger Midgets with the Will-Bam Dirt Kings Tour and with the IRA Bumper to Bumper Outlaw Sprint Series a couple weeks back. Now we're heading to a double weekend. This is kind of what I'd say. This is the we're doing two. We've got a gate schedule. Here we go. We're clicking now.
Yes.
Every week?
No. We'll run. Well, let me see how it's going to. The Mara schedule was supposed to start out in early April, like on the 5th. We rained out. We went to Jacksonville on the 19th of April, rained out. And then we went back to Lincoln the following weekend, and we rained out.
Wow.
So.
Okay.
0 for 3 in the Mara schedule.
Yeah.
But
I say Mars. I'm sorry, Mara. Yes. Sorry.
So this weekend, there will be a doubleheader with both the Badger Midgets and the Mara. So it'll be good. It'll be great for the guys between Illinois and Wisconsin to get together and go racing.
So at a quick glance, when you look at bmra.com and you see a race in Illinois, is it going to be a Mara co-sanction at most of these or all of these when Badger's racing south of the border?
Yeah, they'll all be co-sanctioned.
Okay. And what's that been like for you? I know it's a passion. Like Mara's been around forever. There's champions. There's trophies from the 50s and 60s. You brought that back under the Badger sanction. What's it been like developing those guys? And then Mike's like, oh, man, you got 20 more guys that I have to beat every week?
That's right. It's been a lot of fun.
Yeah?
It's been a lot of fun. We get a lot of support from around the people that especially there were in the start of the Mara thing. And to bring that back, it's pretty cool. And Robbie brought that. Robbie said, I think we need to run with that name. And I said, sure. So we kept it. And it's been really positive for everybody, especially in Illinois.
I imagine it was probably in the days where the black satin jacket had the yellow corded ribbon for embroidery on the back saying Mike Stroik Racing, right? Was that kind of what I'm getting to here? They've been around a while, and I'm sure that everybody's happy to see them back.
Yeah, I mean, especially when you go back to guys like we're gonna throw out some names here now.
Go for it.
Gene Jeniton, Kevin Doty won back there. Gene Jeniton.
Mm-hmm.
You have the Wente family. And now it's just the signers and everybody else that's coming along through this whole thing. You start going back to reading through all the yearbooks that Robbie has dug up to see all the names. Joe Dooling.
So the Ray name got 3 champions in that family alone, right?
Yep.
And they ain't done yet. And Robbie's really helping the club. In how many ways does Mike and Robbie? They're racers, but they're wanting to be part of this and grow this brand.
Yeah, it is, especially between what Robbie's doing. I know he works a lot, and I mean we all have jobs, so it's not like this is the first thing that happens. But between you need a lot of people around you just to do a lot of things, and I mean what Robbie's doing we're trying to get the video thing rolling along here, and with Mike doing helping out with everything else that we have. And then, of course,
don't forget about Amy.
Oh, I can see her over there waving the flag. But what Amy's done, Amy doesn't get enough recognition for what happens behind the scenes, for all the banquets, for all the festivities.
I've seen that, man. It's amazing. Thank you,
for
Amy.
all the the reunions between her and Linda, making that all happen. I mean, it's been great. It's been great for us, and it's been great for the support and bringing all those people back to the racetrack to Angel Park, it's been huge.
The history is there. The series doesn't just race on Sundays at Angel Park Speedway. You guys have a really solid schedule. What are some of the racetracks that we should look at? Maybe it's a 2-night special or one night you think that's going to be cool. That's going to be the Kopinski night or that's going to be the Kevin race. I mean, there's some cool things you're building around this in addition to the great 30-plus cars you bring every night.
Well, one of the key things that we're doing this year is, if you have seen anything out there, we're starting a Hall of Fame for the Badger Midget Hall of Fame.
Cool.
That will be in July. The last race, last Sunday in July, will be the reunion and the Hall of Fame, and that event should be huge. I think it should bring a lot of people to the races that night, but it'll also bring a lot of people back to see all of their old fan favorites. You know, I'm looking forward to it.
And I got to tell you, when I go to Angel Park Speedway, again, it's been home of the Badger Midgets for 84 years, something like that.
No, not that long. But
how long has the club been around, though? For that long, right?
We're starting our 89th season.
It's 89. I knew it was 80-something. That's crazy.
But we didn't start racing at Angel Park until 1947.
All right. Okay. But now you got a guy like Mike Stroik who wants to put his name on those trophies, his name on that, I want to be racing here. And you got now the crowd is back.
Oh, yeah.
There are people that are saying, I don't just want to know what it was like in the old days. It is back. Mike, what's that like to race in front of crowds that are that passionate, whether it be you guys race in another division or you just put on a whale of a race and the fans really appreciate it?
Yeah, I mean, it's amazing to see the progression of not only all the tracks, but Angels Park Speedway, especially since Greg has come in there and done such a great job at promoting it. You usually just thought, there's going to be good crowds in the 410s or would show up to town. And they'll show up and watch the Badger Midgets, the legends of Wisconsin Wingless, but for the most part, they're packing the stands for the Midgets.
Yeah. Yeah, and it used to be a one-division track. Great show. Heroes, legends. I recall seeing something not long ago where Jeff Gordon, I think, was filmed at Sun Prairie on that night that I keep referring to as the night that I said Gordon can race. Made the dash, flipped out of the joint, never flipped on his knob in a midget before. You might have the numbers, but I don't think I'm too far off. But correct me if I'm wrong because I'm doing a lot of that tonight. I think he passed 63 cars all night. He went from the D to the C. Won, I think, both of those. Finished second in the B or fourth in the B and transferred to the A.
Yep.
And got, sixth maybe? Fifth? Fourth?
Yeah, fourth or fifth in the A main.
And the car he flipped out of the joint, that was his dirt car. Correct. It was a USAC point show, and he had his pavement midget in the infield, tubs, toolbox, 2 midgets, Riley Helm, the owner, looking like this, going, and all you could see is Jeff Gordon taking out the front axle of the pavement car, throwing the dirt car, and did that. That, to me, right then that night, and still will be forever, this kid's special. He was amazing that night, and obviously he's done a few things since.
Yeah,
those kind of things happen at Angel Park.
They do. Well, Tony Stewart. He's the next one that falls in line. Jason Leffler. They all coming along with that.
Yeah.
Christopher Bell. Christopher Bell won the championship in 2014.
Yes.
They all raced at Sun Prairie. And it truly is a special place. And I'm glad that I'm really glad we get to meet, Greg McCarnes when he took over, and what he's done for the place it's right up there with even when the firemen still had it, and all the people that come in there that are special. You see the special talent that rolls through that place, because Boris used to say, if you could race at Sun Prairie, you can race anywhere in the world.
Dan Boris, by the way, championship driver with his dad, and also won 2 Chili Bowls. That's a pretty big statement. Mike, when it comes to racing against the competition, you may not know or have a good idea who might be there all the time. But, man, it's got to be nuts knowing that, okay, this big KKM hauler rolled in with 5 midgets hanging out the back. He wants to come play with us. That intermixing tells me credibility, but also a challenge for you guys. It's not just the same 6, 8, 10, 12 deep. We're talking about bring it on because the Badger boys can race.
Oh, yeah, I think, what was it, last year at Kankakee itself, we had, I think, 36 or 37 cars show up with a combination of both Badger and Morrow. It helped out, but, yeah, it's when you show up to Angel Park and you're easily averaging over 30-some cars every single week, kind of deal, it's pretty special. And then, obviously, for the first race this season coming up at Angel Park Speedway, we'd expect a heck of a lot of cars to show up because we've done a lot of work, Amy especially, and the Delkey family, to increase the purse all around, not just the top guys, but to everyone associated with the race. I think the last statistics were adding to the purse like $11,000. So on top of what Greg normally gives us. We're getting there around
Wow.
that $16,000 mark for spread out throughout all the drivers. I sponsor $100 for the first car out. So whoever has a bad night,
You're throwing your own money out of your wallet at someone who Badger racer.
I'd be
at a
racing
Badger
against.
race.
Right.
Wow, that's pretty cool. Quinn, that's a lot of support, but that's a lot of work to get people to saying, "I want to be part of this." And give yourself some credit, please. You guys are getting, but you're doing it the right way. You're getting people involved. You're getting people invested, literally, in what you're doing.
Yeah, we're trying. Yeah, we're definitely trying to do that. But that's all Amy and Melissa that did all that for that race. I know it's the BJ Dalkey and Addison Dalkey Memorial Race, but for what they've done in such a short amount of time to bring that kind of money to the table, it's impressive.
What night is it? What time does the gates open? I'm going to get there early if it's going to be that big of a show.
May 19th.
First night at Angel Park.
Yep.
That opens up the season, Angel Park Speedway.
It does.
That's pretty cool.
It does.
Really cool.
I just want to make a comment about going to Beaver Dam.
Okay.
I can't believe you haven't talked about that yet.
Going to Beaver Dam?
Yeah.
I like watching midgets at Beaver Dam.
So do I. I love that place.
Yeah. Yeah. How was it when you drove that thing? Because the tracks change a little bit over time.
Oh, it's changed a lot.
Yeah?
Used to have more bank in it.
It did, yes.
Oh, yeah.
With that concrete wall, the angle thing.
Yeah.
Yes, I remember that, yeah.
I ran second to Randy Cook there one night.
Wow.
In
All right.
98.
All right.
We ran like 6 inches off the fence. It was pretty impressive. You don't have a Terre Haute was the place that really made you feel how fast you were going, but Beaver Dam did the same thing.
Oh.
When you run that fast and you run that close to the wall, it's I know, I'm sure if Recheck was listening, he'd know exactly what I'm talking about. When you run up there, it's a lot of fun.
He won that deal, and it was a home track win for him in the spring trifecta.
It was huge. I think everybody in the stands was cheering for him.
Yeah, that's cool.
Out of all the drivers we had there, which we had 26 there that night, plus there was all, the Dirt Kings were there, and late models, and the IRA sprint cars were there. I think he brought he brought the entire town to the races because it was cold.
They could buy Freezy Pops without having them refrigerated from the pictures I saw. Mike, how's it when you're that cold in a race car? You warm up because the engine gets a little heat in there, or you just block it out?
Well, I feel, since I couldn't make it to that race, I felt bad for the drivers during some of the red flags and whatnot, because I'm like, well, you got no engine heat, you got nothing to even stay warm, you got the wind gusting. I'm like, yeah, I'm in my parka heated jacket from Milwaukee. I'm like, I'm nice and toasty up here, guys. I feel bad for you down there in the race cars. So
that's cool. I mentioned the website, bmara.com.
Correct.
You guys are racing a lot of different tracks. The schedule is packed.
Correct.
We talked about Angel Park, talked about Beaver Dam.
Yep.
We talked about Sycamore.
Yep.
How many times are you going to Sycamore this year?
5.
All right. All right.
I'm going to go to Plymouth.
And have you been to Kankakee a lot in the last several years? Or is this
No.
kind of a new, let's get this going?
Get this thing going.
Okay.
Yeah. Billy's been good to us about going there.
Good.
So he wants us back.
Good.
I think it's going to continue to grow, which I think it will.
Yeah.
It brings a lot of, I'm hopefully can drag some guys out of Indiana to come race with us on Friday night and then come up Saturday night. But we go to Plymouth in June. We're going to Wilmont again. The boys at Eagle River called.
Yeah?
We're going to Eagle River.
All right.
We're going to Eagle River in July the 20th.
All right.
See how that goes up there.
We should not need the skis for the snowmobile World Championship Derby there in July.
It didn't snow this winter, so we should be good. We're going to race in a little bit warmer, though, conditions than in the winter time. But the first time I went to a midget race was, I won't even date myself how long ago it was. But
you were younger, maybe had a few more hair follicles.
Well,
I don't know.
If anybody remembers Capitol Speedway?
Yeah.
I went to a midget race there, and I thought it would be the coldest time I'd ever raced. I think last Saturday or the Saturday before, I think that definitely takes the cake on how cold it was.
Got it through you?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. It was a little chilly.
Yeah. But
there wasn't enough hot chocolate in the building for me, I can tell you that.
The cool thing is we're warming up. Your season's getting active, and you guys are kind enough to spend some time with us tonight. Mike, before we let you go, your car is sitting right there. I want to make sure you get a chance to recognize the folks that are with you this season.
Yeah, the number one that I sort of have to start off the bat is a brand new sponsor this year, and it's actually Kenzie Dunn. She is just a young race fan that has started to support quite a few racers out there. She sponsored Danger Dave last year, and she came up to me at Beaver Dam, even though I didn't have a car, and handed me sponsorship money and a sticker. I'm like, oh, I'm definitely going to put it on the car and definitely talk about you. But then the long-standing sponsor that I always have had for throughout my entire racing career has been H&H Heiner Brewing Company up there in Wapaka. So I'll probably step in there either before or after going up all the way up north to Eagle River. So, yeah, if anyone's heading up north this summer, it's a great spot to stop in at. So
cool. How about the people helping you?
Obviously, we got Denny Smith out in the crowd out here tonight. Charlie Spoonmower, finally able to actually help him because he's now running a legend at Beaver Dam. Unfortunately, they got rained out tonight, so hopefully he's watching. They got a shout out. But yeah, friends and family, couldn't really do it without them. So
cool. And you get to be a lot involved with when it comes to decision making. Is it cost effective? Is it the right move as an official? That takes a lot of time to commit to that too, doesn't it?
Oh yeah, there's a lot of phone calls with Quinn, and even he puts you on hold half the time because he's got customers coming in the door and all.
Got the real job in the way.
I'm sure you've had a phone call with him once or twice, but yeah, there's board meetings, general membership meetings, but yeah, it takes time, and you just gotta make sure you do make the correct moves at the right time and make sure you're talking. I'm sort of an intermediary. I'm a driver and on the board and things like that, so I get a lot of things that come in my ear that sometimes don't go in his ear, and I got to be the person in between to sort of work it out. So
AFS is the series sponsor this year. I think I passed 3 of their work trucks in like consecutive days. I'm like, ooh, that's right. That's the sponsor of the midgets.
That's right.
That's kind of cool. And they've been around for a long time in some capacity.
Yes.
That's neat that they stepped into the title role this year
and
last year, right?
Yeah, they've been on board for a couple of years already.
Yeah.
Yep. Jim and Jim do a great job, and they've been around midget racing since the late '90s, and they helped out not the previous president, but the president before that with Butch Dalkey.
Okay.
And then that's where it all started from.
And they're there still supporting this along the way.
Yeah, they love midget racing.
Yep.
And I think everybody should love midget racing. I think I'm going to be biased, but I think it is the best form of open wheel racing in the country.
Well, we have a lot to thank you, and you should be proud of what you guys are doing. Wisconsin proud, Illinois proud, it's Badger Midget proud. It's going to be fun to watch you progress through the season. And before you tell me, hey, when are you going to have me on next? It's not a question, it's a statement. When am I on next? We want you guys back on the show. How about a big hand for Mike Stroik and Quinn McCabe and Amy Schultz? Thank you for coming to the show, guys. Really appreciate it.
Thank you.
Thanks for having us. I appreciate it. I love this show. So
it's fun.
You do a great job.
Yeah.
You've been here for a while.
It's our 40th season of the Racing Roundup Show. We're not done yet. We got Bill Holland to talk about and a huge race that somebody cashed in $18,600 to win on Sunday afternoon, and I was there to see it, and so was Bill, and we'll get that in the group segment with you next on the show.
Join the racing crowd every Tuesday night at 6 p.m. Central all season long. Share what you love about short track racing on our Facebook page and on Twitter and Instagram at Racing Roundup. We'll be right back with more of the Racing Roundup Show.
Get your whole family involved in affordable, competitive kart racing at Millwright Raceway in Dousman, Wisconsin, home of the Badger Kart Club. Walk the pit area, talk to racers, and check out the action from the grandstands. There's a play area for the kids and great food at the concession stand. Spectator admission is free. Badger Kart Club points racers and National Touring Series race on the challenging paved road course most Sundays from April through September. Badger Kart Club is well established and well respected. There's 15 classes and over 100 drivers racing every week. From ages 5 to 75, kart racing offers competition for generations of racers of all ages. Bring the kids and check out kart racing for yourself at one of America's finest kart tracks. This is where Alan Kowicki, Danica Patrick, Sam Mayer, and Josh Palicki got their start. Millwright Raceway is just south of I-94 in Dousman, 35 miles west of Milwaukee, and 45 miles east of Madison. For all the latest information, directions, and race schedule, visit BadgerKartClub.com.
ARR has been recycling for over 80 years and is here to help. Take them your recyclable metals and they'll pay you cash. ARR buys aluminum, brass, copper, lead, and steel. And attention contractors, ARR has a bonus program just for you that puts more cash in your pocket. And who doesn't like more cash? Find their full list of accepted materials at ARR1938.com. ARR with locations in West Allis and Waukesha. If you have questions, give them a call. 414-321-4134. ARR Recycling since 1938.
Eliminate the hassles of planning a trip to the races. Hook up with Boring Bob's escorted NASCAR racing tours. Boring Bob offers transportation, lodging, race tickets, nightlife, shuttle service, and more. Boring Bob knows all the back roads into and out of the racetrack to get you in and out fast. Pick one or pick them all. Go in style to Daytona, Bristol, Phoenix, Las Vegas, and more. He has decades of experience and industry contacts galore. You name the race, let Boring Bob do the rest. Call Boring Bob today to make plans now to go on one of Boring Bob's famous escorted NASCAR racing tours. Boring Bob's always at 414-321-1307. That's 414-321-1307.
Adams Towing offers expert heavy-duty towing services for the entire state of Wisconsin from their Plover headquarters. Since 1961, 3 generations of heavy-duty towing specialists and racing supporters have provided towing, flatbed, and reload service, plus winching and upright, long boom service, truck starting, and cleanup. Adams Towing proudly sponsors Ryan Farrell's Super Late Model team. Put Adams Towing and their experienced team and their fleet of heavy-duty tow trucks and rollbacks to work for you. Call Adams Towing today at 715-344-3836.
Check out our website, RacingRoundupShow.com, to watch show archives, see photos from decades of our program, and links to support our awesome show advertisers. Now let's get back to more of the Racing Roundup Show.
Hey everybody, Jim Trado joining you here. I've got my friend Bill Holland with me in person again. This is a special treat. We see him in the group. We will see him in the group on this show. But we want to tell you that the racers at Schleifer Auto Body bring us this segment of our program. I want to thank those racers up in Lannon. They've got a great thing going on called the family business of 4 generations of auto body repair specialists, experts. See the racers at Schleifer Auto Body in Lannon for your daily driver, your fleet of work trucks. You're just a ding and dent, or you got to replace the whole front end. They can do that for you. They do really good work. Schleifer Auto Body. Search their great work on Facebook or give them a call in Lannon. Schleifer Auto Body. They work with all insurance companies. Give them a look, give them a hook, and give them a ring and get your work done there. It's time for the Modified Security Solutions Short Track Report for cameras and alarm systems for your home or business, programmed card access, custom-made security doors, on-call locksmith work, and much more. It's a lock. Support the racers at Team Bonafide by calling 262-790-9400 or go online to bonafidesafe.com. They protect what you value. Rain and wet conditions hampered several upper Midwest racetracks and events due to their washout last weekend. This Saturday night will serve as the season opener at Wilmot Raceway on the Kenosha County Fairgrounds. CK Contractors, LLC.com brings us the Wilmot Raceway and Wisconsin wingless sprints coverage. Hire the pros at CK Contractors for Lake Michigan shore restoration, lot grading, excavating, grading, retention pond building, and more. Modified street stocks, along with the new winged 604 crate powered by Grandeur Performance Sprinters, make their debut this Saturday. Visit WilmotRaceway.com for details. Scotty Thiel raced, that was the race I was watching, man, the heavy racetrack. Scotty Thiel raced to the lead with 2 laps to go in Cedar Lake Speedway in bumper-to-bumper IR Outlaw Sprints action Saturday night. Then he survived a 4-wheel bike in turn 4 on the last lap. That means all 4 tires off the ground. Landed on 2, gassed it, and actually won the race. The IRASprints.com schedule shows the wing sprinters heading to Sycamore Speedway in Illinois this Saturday night with the Badger Midgets. The Mighty Badger Midgets will be in action this Friday night, too, as we just learned, at Kankakee County Speedway. Diamond Racing Wheels sponsors our weekly coverage of Dells Raceway Park. They got a big one again this weekend. Gandry Performance is stepping in as a sponsor this Saturday at Dells Raceway Park. Diamond Racing Wheels is your destination for stock car, road racing, autocross, beadlock wheels, and off-road and dirt track. Man, they do a lot of different custom wheels, custom chrome finished wheels, and more. Visit them online, diamondracingwheels.com. Jerry Blystone won the UMA Modified feature Saturday night at DRP. Jesse Bernhagen raced from his 9th starting spot to hold the checkered flag after the late model feature. Dave Schrute wins a lot there. He returned to victory lane into the Sportsman. He had to get his hand. It was a good race. You got to go to the Dells Raceway Park and check it out. It's a really cool race. A lot of things going on this Saturday night. Again, Gander Performance Night features late model 602 Outlaw late models, Bandits, Super Cups, and Street Stocks. Pardon me. Save money and buy DRP tickets in advance online at DellsRacewayPark.com. We'll have complete coverage of the Joe Shear Classic 200. I keep saying it. I feel like a newscaster that keeps telling you we're going to do it, and we didn't do it yet. We're getting right to it. Hang on. Want to congratulate Cody Swanson leading all 100 laps at Winchester to win for the 3rd straight time in USAC sanction at those famed high banks. He won the Rich Vogler Classic USAC Silver Crown race on Sunday. Last weekend, winged World of Outlaw sprint cars and USAC non-wing. Let's Race 2 was the theme of it. Hashtag Let's Take 2. They ran both Friday and Saturday night. Let's talk about Saturday first. Night 2 on Saturday featured a battle of the Titans. David Gravel and Donnie Schatz in the Outlaws feature. Gravel didn't clear Schatz until sailing down the backstretch on the white flag lap coming to the checkers in the 30-lapper. Justin Grant on Saturday won the USAC Sprint Car main over Logan Seavey. Let's go back to Friday night then. Belonged to Sheldon Hodenschild and Winged Outlaws. And in a backup car, Shark Racing's Logan Schuhart went from 24th to 6th. That's easy to do on some tracks. Not that easy to do at Eldora. Great job by those guys. Robert Ballou also highlight reel. Made up half a straightaway on the last lap and a half. Ripped the lip and won the non-wing feature by a mere 0.016 seconds. That's probably this much. That's a lot according to what we did over racing over the weekend. But he ended up beating out Kyle Cummins, who was hugging the rail, and he was a coming. He thought he was out of time, but Robert Ballou got up on the wheel elbows up, and won the race. We now have Bill Holland with us. Bill, I was at the Joe Shear Classic with the live stream on tracktv.com. You were there getting a lot of information from a lot of people. It's got to be fun going to a track like that and such a big event.
It really is. It's, as you said, a big event and a really competitive event. A lot of quality cars and drivers. MIS, a great venue for that race, and racing in honor of a legitimate short track legend on a beautiful spring day. You really can't top it.
And it's amazing who you see, who you come across in the pits, who you see in the stands. You see the Joe Shear jackets, the T-shirts, the hats, the family. But I also know we were just in the pits talking about some cool guys coming to the track. And then you mentioned Dave Watson, and as if he was a magician, appeared over my right shoulder. I said, Bill, there's Dave Watson. He raced with Joe Shear. He's a teammate. He's a compatriot. He's actually a contemporary, and he's here hanging out with us. What do you think?
Oh, it's remarkable. And for folks a little too young to remember Dave Watson was a great race driver. And to have the opportunity to talk with him about Joe Shear, and those guys went way back.
Yes.
They spent a lot of time, a lot of years together. It's just special.
Thanks for the hard work, Bill. We're now going to stop teasing you and deliver. This is Bill Holland's awesome In the Groove report in detail of the Joe Shear Classic this past Sunday at MIS.
Hi, I'm Bill Holland in the Groove at Madison International Speedway, where the annual Joe Shear Classic brings top drivers from the Midwest Truck Series and the ASA Midwest Tour to this high-speed half-mile. On the super late model side, this is one of the biggest paying races around, $15,000 to the winner, plus an extra $3,600 if the winner can top all-time Tour wins leader Ty Majeski.
I'm all for stuff like that. Anytime you can get people involved and invested in a story and show up to the racetrack and sort of have a race within the race, I think is healthy for the sport. So, just happy to be here, happy to have the opportunity to race for an extra $3,600, as is everybody else here today.
Reigning Midwest Tour champ Gabe Summers among the drivers looking to cash in.
When I go out there, I just go for the win every time. So just go out there, do our thing, and it'd be nice to grab the bounty. I mean, that's a lot of money, so could be a really good payday.
Hubertus, Wisconsin's John DeAngelis Jr. knows what a win today would mean.
To be able to beat him, if we could do that, I don't even care about the money. That's cool that they added on. Appreciate that. But, if we can make it happen, it's awesome if we beat the best in the business.
Former winners of this event include former national short track champion Austin Nason, who won here in 2018.
It was kind of a kickstart to our super late career, so we've been good. We won here again last year at the end of the year, so I think we're good.
The late Joe Shear is one of the greats in the long history of short track racing. His longtime friend and accomplished racer Dave Watson remembers.
And if he was capable, he'd lead the first lap and the middle lap and the last lap. And it's like you said, the car always stayed under him, and he was very smooth.
Joe Shear carried the number 36 throughout his career. In qualifying, it's another 36. 15-year-old Ty Fredrickson fastest out of 27 cars.
My dad's setup from last year was really good, and then we put it in the car coming into yesterday and fired off really well. I adapted to the track pretty quick, and setup was really good.
Before the main event, drivers who didn't make the top 20 raced for starting spots in a 12-lap heat race. Today proved to be tough to crack that top 20. Coming to the checkers, it's former national short track champion and current Kawicki driver development racer Max Kaler with the win.
If you're outside the top 20, it's good to be able to run that race and to have another race to base your adjustments off of and try and make the car better.
The Midwest Truck Series is part of the program this afternoon. Former series champion Jerry Wood, the one driver in the field who raced with Joe Shear in his late model days.
Joe was just, if he was here, you knew you really had somebody to race with. I mean, Trickle and Refner and all them guys, they were just as good as you can get. But they knew they had to race Joe Shear.
Aaron Moyer in the 140 and Cody Vanderloop in the 4 bring the truckers to green for the first of 36 laps in honor of Joe Shear. It's Moyer, the Hartford, Wisconsin driver, leading Vanderloop, the Fox Valley racer. Jeff Holtz in the black and white 38 running in the 3rd spot. Behind the leaders, Derek Dorr in the 31, Brandon Reichenberger, Bryce Miller, fast qualifier Eugene Gregorich III in the 1, Kevin Zilozinski right behind. Good battle up front. Holtz up to second, challenging Moyer for the top spot. Vanderloop right behind in third. Aaron Moyer got his start in legend cars. Holtz has raced Mid-American cars and late models in addition to his years in the Truck Series. Jeff Holtz with the pass for the lead. Derek Dorr holding down the 4th spot with Gregorich now up to 5th. And we're under caution for the 10 of Michigan driver Derek Meyer. Coming to the green flag with only 8 laps to go. Not a lot of time to make things happen, but the field has another shot at the leaders. Aaron Moyer regains the lead. The 140 out front as we're coming to the white flag, and he's in the front stretch wall. And this isn't just a paint scrape. Trouble for the 140. Jeff Holtz making the pass in turn 2. The veteran out of Franksville, Wisconsin, leading on the lap that matters the most. Dorr coming on to take the 2nd spot as Holtz takes the checkers, winning the Midwest Truck Series feature at Madison. Before the 200-lap Joe Shear Classic, Madison International Speedway owner Greg McCarn shared just how important this event was and is here.
I called Terry Kunis that owned the track and said, I have the Midwest Tour, can I do one more Joe Shear Classic? And that actually sparked the conversation and saved the racetrack. And we came up with a plan for us to buy it, and here we are 10 years later.
Former Midwest Tour champions Casey Johnson in the 5 and Dalton Zare in the 119 lead the field to green. 27 cars racing for 200 laps. Johnson, the 3-time Tour champion out of nearby Edgerton, leads Zare. Riley Stengham in the 47. John DeAngelis Jr. Gabe Summers in 5th. Austin Nason 6th. Johnson and Zare have raced with and against each other a lot over the years. They lead Summers now up to the 3rd spot. Caution flies. John DeAngelis Jr. with trouble in turn 4. His day over early. Back to green with Johnson and Summers now up front leading the way. And Gabe Summers takes the lead from Casey Johnson. Summers out front with the 3-time Tour champion 2nd and 5-time Midwest Tour champion Ty Majeski now 3rd. Gabe Summers, the reigning champ, has never won the Joe Shear Classic. He looks strong right now, pulling away from the field. Majeski and Johnson battling for the 2nd spot. Ty Majeski to the high side. Casey Johnson down low. Majeski takes the position. Up front, Summers cruising to the competition caution. We're past halfway. Nearly everyone will pit for tires. We may see a very different race on the restart. Back to green with Gabe Summers and Ryan Farrell, who did not pit up front leading the way. And here we go. Gabe Summers has the lead. Ty Majeski wants it. The 91 alongside Summers 15. And Ty Majeski takes the top spot. Battle for 3rd has Ty Fredrickson, the 15-year-old fast qualifier, and Brent Edmonds out of nearby Monroe in only his 5th Midwest Tour race. We hit one last competition caution with Ty Majeski up front. The restart with 22 to go gives Gabe Summers another shot at the leader. Brent Edmonds and Casey Johnson right behind. This is go time. Majeski on the high side, hanging on to the lead. Summers, Edmonds, and Johnson running 2nd through 4th. Farther back, Justin Mondyke in the 44 has come through the field to 5th, ahead of Ty Fredrickson, Paul Schaefer Jr., Luke Fenhouse, and Levon Vandergeest. Up front, there's no catching Ty Majeski. He'll wheel the 91 to the checkers, taking the $15,000 purse and the $3,600 bounty. Majeski winning his 3rd Joe Shear Classic.
Yeah, cool win with Joe Shear Jr. being my crew chief on the truck side. Cool to win his dad's race. I know he was back in Sandusky, Ohio watching. So, yeah, cool race. Cool to have the bounty and defend it, I guess. So, yeah, great race. I thought the racetrack really put on great racing.
For 5-time Midwest Tour champ Ty Majeski, it's now 36 feature wins and counting for the Tour's all-time wins leader. No one else has half that many. I'm Bill Holland. Thanks for watching, and thanks to everyone who makes our program possible. We'll see you next time we go in the groove on the Racing Roundup Show.
What a treat for the hard work. I want a big hand for Bill Holland joining us here tonight in person. Thanks for getting all that hard work in there, Bill. Great job again. That had to be a fun, but again, a great job with a lot of time put in that for a lot of folks like us to enjoy. Thank you.
Well, I appreciate you giving the time to tell the story.
8 minutes is a luxury I never had in my TV news days, and you could always go longer, but I really think it's important to try to do more than just talk to the winner. I mean, you need that. You need the driver winning the race, and you need to hear from him afterward. But I think there's a lot more going on race day that makes this sport so interesting. It's what are guys thinking beforehand? Every driver out on that track has a story, and a lot of them are really interesting stories, and that's what I'm trying to do.
Yeah, it's great that we have that opportunity to showcase that. Thank you, Bill.
Thank you,
Appreciate it very
Jim.
much.
I appreciate it.
Bill Holland joins us here in person. What a great report. And a little addendum there. Greg McCarn said there's a bonus and a bounty on Ty Majeski's head if somebody else can win that race. But he also said it's a Dick Trickle rule. Trickle used to have bounties on his head all the time, racing across the country. He's racing down with Larry Phillips down in Missouri. And Dick never won the bonus. He never won the bounty if he won the race. So the Dick Trickle rule was if Ty Majeski finishes on the lead lap and just, by the way, happens to win the race on the lead lap, Ty got the bonus. So it's kind of cool that played out that way. And it's kind of fun knowing that those things happen and there's a big payday and a big, big race to celebrate with you here on the show. Bill, I'm going to do this one more time for TV, I swear, and then we're done. I swear. I want to get this done right now. Well, what a great report, Bill. Thank you for being part of our show and the great coverage and how much fun that had to be. But a lot of work to make sure those highlights are just spot on. Great job.
Thank you, Jim. I appreciate it. I appreciate you giving me this opportunity, this forum on Racing Roundup, to tell these stories of short track racing. Really enjoy it. So thank you.
Thank you. Look forward to seeing you next week on the show. We are going to say we're coming right back with more on this edition of the Racing Roundup Show and wrap things up, but I don't want to do that right now. I'm going to do that later. So after Bill's comments, is that enough time to matter, or I have to do it again? Okay, we need a slot again. You ready for this? This is the magic of TV live. Here I'm all excited about, hey, we got this figured out. You ready for this? Yeah. Hey, it's really cool to have Bill Holland with us. Bill, you had a great opportunity to talk to some really cool people about Joe Shear and cover a great race. How much work goes into putting that together?
Well, it's quite a bit of work. It's interesting. People assume that when the race is over and you've loaded up your camera and equipment and are heading to the parking lot, your job is done. No, it's about a third of the way done. But it's a great opportunity to be part of this team to be able to tell these stories. So I much appreciate it. It's great being part of the Racing Roundup team.
Great to have you here, Bill, as well. We'll be right back with more on this edition of the Racing Roundup Show. And now, we play our exit music. You know what that means? I got 1 minute to talk even faster. Impossible as that sounds, thank you, Bill Holland. Thank you, Greg Lapine. Thank you, Dave Schmalzer. Thank you, Sam Trado. Thank you, Matt Rapina. Thank you to the help that we get from Faye Hendricks every week. And Mark Goodman, thank you. Bruce Brodget, thank you. A lot of folks come here and help us set up and take down and provide prizes. Thank you to our racers tonight for joining us. Up with a big hand for TJ Zizzo, Rich Bickle, Mike Stroik, and Quinn McCabe. And that NASCAR guy, Tyler Anker. It was fun to hang out with him today. What a great show we had. We hope to see you next Tuesday. We have a great program, including one of our guests that's here tonight hanging out with us, Logan Julian, going after the IRA Rookie of the Year status. We'll talk to Logan on the show next Tuesday among our guests, including Brad Keith and his son and his dad, Tim, talking about how they're getting involved with the Slinger Super Speedway Opener. Lots to cover. We'll see you next week. Until then, have at it, racers.
We hope you enjoyed tonight's show. Remember to tell your friends and watch our 30-minute TV show on Milwaukee's CW18 this Saturday morning at 11:30. Like our show on Facebook, follow and interact with us on X and Instagram at Racing Roundup. Join the racing crowd at our live show and win prizes. For our latest show schedule and to watch all of our shows on demand, visit our website, RacingRoundupShow.com. We are delivering fresh content every Tuesday at 6 p.m. Central. Until next time, race fans, on behalf of our entire crew, this is Dean Strom reminding you to support your local racetracks, set your DVRs, and have at it, racers.